Number 1. The secret to living to 100 years old in the Hunza Valley. Nestled in the towering mountains of northern Pakistan, the Hunza Valley is known for its mystery. Age seems to defy the laws of aging. If you venture into this remote region, you'll witness women in their 40s still radiant like young women in their 20s. Even welcoming a new family member in their 60s is a natural phenomenon and doesn't surprise anyone. Locals consider celebrating their 100th birthday a regular part of their daily lives. However, the miracle lies not only in the numbers representing age. The core issue is that the Hunza community maintains remarkably resilient bodies, rarely falling ill and remaining full of vitality despite their advanced age. This fact forces us to ask a crucial question. Is declining physical fitness truly an immutable law of nature, or is it merely a consequence of the sedentary lifestyles of modern humans? The desire for longevity has long been associated with mystical elements in ancient epics, but the Hunza Valley is a living entity that has been directly observed and documented by science. Around the beginning of the 20th century, a British military doctor named Robert McCarrison decided to spend many years conducting in-depth research on the people of the valley. His work there led him to realize that serious chronic diseases threatening the Western world were almost non-existent in this community. McCarrison's groundbreaking findings immediately became a hot topic of discussion in the global medical community. Most interestingly, this doctor completely dismissed the hypothesis of superior genes or some kind of supernatural miracle. He firmly believed that the core reason for the Hunza people's robust health lay in the very practical habits we will explore below. Number 2. Hunza women, beauty and power in the Highlands. From the first encounter, the women of Hunza captivated attention with their strikingly different appearance compared to most women in South Asia. Their skin was fair and rosy, a result of breathing the fresh mountain air and maintaining good blood circulation through regular exercise. Many possessed amber, turquoise, or light gray eyes, accompanied by light brown or chestnut hair. This contrasted sharply with the jet black hair commonly seen in the central plains of Pakistan. Their faces were delicate, with high noses and well-proportioned cheekbones, creating a beautiful blend of European and Central Asian features. However, their allure lay not only in their outward appearance. The women here were truly strong pillars of both the economy and society. Thanks to the open-mindedness of the Ismaili Islamic sect and the isolated living conditions, men and women in Hunza were forced to share the burdens of survival. While women in many other parts of Pakistan rarely engage in strenuous labor, in this valley you can easily find them working as carpenters, construction workers, or surveyors. A prime example is the women-run social enterprise CIQAM. Despite initial skepticism, when men left the villages for larger cities to find work, the women who remained proved their exceptional capabilities. Today, their handicrafts and construction projects are even commissioned by numerous luxury hotels. This independence is also reflected in their personal lives. Hunza women typically marry relatively late after completing their education, and they have the right to refuse arranged marriages. The community prioritizes mass weddings at the end of the year to save costs and strengthen community bonds. On this momentous occasion, the brides wear brightly embroidered iragi headdresses. Each hat requires months of craftsmanship and is a unique cultural symbol. Furthermore, the skillful Gara embroidery technique provides a stable income, enabling women to be financially independent. The solid foundation for all this freedom is advanced education. The literacy rate among young women in Hunza is extremely high. Attending university or studying abroad is a common occurrence. Looking back at the traditional Burusho family structure, the Ruli Goose, the oldest and most respected woman, holds the power to allocate food during the harsh winter months. Clearly, the power of women in Hunza has been established for centuries as a clever adaptation to survive in a harsh natural environment. Number 3. Hunza geography is not the secret to longevity. Many mistakenly believe that the Hunza people's longevity stems from their geographical location. This valley is often described as a paradise in Pakistan, thanks to the perfect blend of nature and indigenous culture. Located in the far north of Gilgit-Baltistan, it boasts an extremely harsh terrain with a series of towering mountains. A prime example is Mount Rakapushi, reaching 7,788 meters, the 27th highest peak in the world. While its isolation may have slowed development, it has allowed the people to preserve their ancient way of life. However, the argument about geographical factors quickly reveals a contradiction. Communities living right next to the Hunza Valley share the same altitude, climate, and harsh natural conditions. Yet, strangely, they still suffer from common illnesses and live only half as long as the Hunzakut people. This enormous disparity must surely stem from some deeper underlying reason. In 1963, a medical delegation from France visited the area to conduct research and reaffirm the earlier findings of Dr. Robert McCarrison. The actual data indicated that the average life expectancy there reached 120 years, and some even lived to 160 years. Furthermore, their biological aging process was completely different. 40-year-old women still looked incredibly youthful, while 60-year-olds maintained slender figures and were able to bear children at 65. Clearly, neither the living environment nor the genetic code could explain this unusual phenomenon. After decades of research, experts have come to a common conclusion. The key to the longevity of the Hunzakut people does not depend on their place of residence, but is entirely determined by their daily lifestyle. Number 4. The health paradox in the Hunza Valley. In August 1977, a shocking event occurred at the International Cancer Conference in Paris. Experts, based on geo-oncology data, announced that Hunza was the only community in the world with no recorded cases of cancer. While this conclusion generated much debate, to date, no concrete scientific evidence has been able to completely refute it. Upon closer analysis, researchers found a clear difference in the lifestyle of the Hunzakut people compared to industrial societies. They maintain an optimistic spirit, live harmoniously, and almost never allow prolonged stress to affect their mental state. Their physical training habits are also extremely rigorous. People still bathe in cold water even in winter and exercise continuously throughout their lives. From young children to centenarians, manual labor is considered an essential part of their daily lives. The Hunza people's diet also follows a very specific biological rhythm. While summer is the time for fresh, juicy vegetables and fruits, winter is when they consume dried apricots, sprouted grains, and sheep's cheese. Most notably, there is a long period of fasting in the spring, lasting from 2 to 4 months. During this time, they consume almost no solid food, sustaining themselves only on a decoction of dried apricots once a day. Many experts believe this is a natural fasting regimen that helps the body cleanse and regenerate effectively. Dr. McCarrison also points out that the Hunza diet contains very little animal protein. Meat is a luxury food and only appears on special occasions. They can walk dozens of kilometers on mountainous terrain without feeling tired thanks to the energy from their natural, chemical-free food. The convergence of a simple diet, consistent exercise, and inner peace has created an ideal model of health that modern medicine is still trying to decipher. Number 5. The Hunzakut people's miracle elixir for rejuvenation. For the Hunza community, apricots are not simply a dessert, they are the cornerstone of their civilization. In summer, people enjoy ripe apricots straight from the orchards, while in winter, the entire valley sustains itself through dried apricots. They respectfully call this fruit Hunza Gold. Apricots are present in every aspect of life, from breakfast and snacks for children to soups and slow-cooked bread. Almost no menu here is complete without this fruit. In these high-altitude regions, over 2,000 meters above sea level, with harsh winters and difficult farming conditions, food storage becomes a matter of survival. Therefore, every summer, the Hunza people are busy harvesting, processing, and drying apricots under the scorching sun to store for the entire year. When heavy snow falls, dried apricots, combined with rye bread, are an essential source of energy to help people survive the coldest period. However, the value. The largest part of the apricot is hidden inside its hard pit. Locals extract the kernel and cold press it to create a precious oil used in cooking, treating aches and pains, and for facial skincare. Apricot kernel oil contains a high amount of vitamin E and natural fatty acids, helping to protect the skin from cracking and the negative effects of ultraviolet rays in the mountainous region. This is considered the secret to Hunza women maintaining their youthful appearance despite the harsh environment. Since the 1920s, many Western experts have come here to decipher the longevity diet of the local people. They found a common characteristic. The Hunza people eat very little meat, prioritize whole grains and green vegetables, and maintain the daily consumption of apricots and apricot kernel oil. Their enduring health is not a miracle, but the result of an active lifestyle, limited refined sugar intake, and the consumption of healthy nutrients from the small apricot. Number 6. Marriage in Hunza, freedom and minimalism. Instead of being a materialistic pursuit, weddings in the Hunza Valley are more of a symbol of unity and civility. Unlike many other regions in Pakistan, where lavish dowries and celebrations can plunge families into debt, the Hunza Ismaili advocate for concise weddings lasting 2 to 3 days. They focus on traditional rituals and the presence of family members rather than expensive displays. Regarding marriage, while arrangements between the two families are common, the voice of the young couple is always prioritized. Canceling a marriage if no agreement is reached is not considered a disgrace, and the flexibility in marrying outside the community is much greater than one might imagine in a mountain society. After the formal marriage contract signing ceremony, nikah, the festive atmosphere erupts with a wedding procession along majestic mountain roads. Men in traditional attire and women wearing brightly embroidered headdresses move to the lively sounds of flutes and drums. The most striking feature is the didang circle dance, where both men and women participate together instead of being strictly separated. This is a characteristic of Ismaili culture in Hunza, where faith is upheld but public spaces are open for collective joy. Even the financial aspect reflects practicality, with wedding gifts mainly consisting of practical household items. Mass weddings are frequently held to help couples start their new lives without the financial burden of the first day. Number 7. Hunza cuisine survives in the high mountains. At first glance, Hunza cuisine seems much simpler than the average in Pakistan. However, this minimalism is a scientific calculation to help the body cope with the harsh, high-altitude cold. Traditional menus prioritize plant-based foods such as wheat, barley, buckwheat, and seasonal vegetables. Red meats like goat, lamb, or Tibetan yak are only used sparingly in winter or on special occasions and are not present in everyday meals. Their cooking methods are also unique, primarily steaming, boiling, or grilling on cast iron griddles to preserve nutrients. They minimize spicy seasonings, using only a moderate amount of fat from dairy or seed oils to create a mild flavor. Besides apricots, whole grains and a balanced diet are the core foundations of Hunza's health. We can clearly see the abundant energy in chapshiro, a type of bread filled with minced meat, onions, and herbs baked to a golden brown, or harissa, a porridge simmered from wheat and meat until thick, then topped with melted butter to warm the bodies of those working outdoors in the cold. Breads made from buckwheat or sprouted wheat, like diram fidi, demonstrate a smart nutritional strategy with high fiber content and very little refined sugar. Prioritizing herbal tea over sugary drinks has helped them maintain a resilient body and low rates of illness for decades. Number 8. Hunza, the most unique language on the planet. While neighboring valleys in northern Pakistan use common language families such as Indo-European or Tibeto-Burman, the Burusho people of Hunza possess the Burushaski language. This is one of the most unusual phenomena in the field of linguistics. Burushaski is defined as a solitary language, as to date, scientists have found no kinship between it and other languages globally. For decades, numerous theories have attempted to connect Burushaski to European Basque or the languages of Native American tribes, but all have failed under rigorous scientific scrutiny. The uniqueness of the Burushaski language is further highlighted when placed in the historical context of Hunza. This valley was a crucial cultural crossroads between India, China, and Persia. Before Islam became the dominant religion, it was a thriving center of Buddhism with many ancient beliefs. Today, the majority of the population follows the Ismaili sect, possessing a strong sense of community and a high level of education. Traces of the past remain clearly visible through rock carvings and numerous scattered ancient ruins. Through centuries of upheaval, migration, and conflict, the Burusho people have maintained their status as the oldest inhabitants of the area. Their successful preservation of a language with no common origin at the crossroads of major civilizations is testament to their incredibly strong sense of identity. In an area where languages are often altered by the flow of trade and power, Burusho endures as a vibrant, unassimilated human heritage. Number 9. Hunza's identity through ancient festivals. In the Hunza Valley, festivals don't exist as isolated events, but rather act as a link between traditional agriculture, Ismaili beliefs, and the spirit of Highlands sports. The festival system here is not just about celebration, but also helps the entire community function harmoniously amidst harsh natural conditions. Most notable is the Janani Wheat Festival, held at the summer solstice to mark the start of the harvest. People bring the first bundles of wheat to the Baltit Fortress area to perform traditional prayers and buttering rituals. The grains are then separated and cooked, mixed with the local lassi drink called diltar, and shared with everyone as a symbol of good fortune. About 10 days before the main festival, the melodies of harip resound throughout the area to herald and warm the spirits of the villagers after a long, cold winter. Harip music, with its drums and flutes, is also the soul of the vibrant circle dances that last for days. Besides agricultural rituals, the Hunza people also celebrate religious holidays that are deeply rooted in community spirit, such as Imamat Day. This is an occasion for them to pay tribute to their spiritual leader, Aga Khan, through poetry and collective activities in the village center. Particularly noteworthy are sporting festivals like Baba Gundi, which blend pilgrimage with dramatic competitions such as Tibetan yak racing and tug-of-war. Although the Buzkashi, horseman's race, involving the slaughter of goats is becoming increasingly rare, it remains a glorious part of the festival culture. This blend of faith and sport has helped the Hunza people maintain their identity and unity for centuries. Number 10. Surreal destinations in Hunza. Hunza boasts surreal landscapes, yet always carries a subtle sense of unease, leaving visitors both excited and apprehensive. The most notable example is the Husseini Suspension Bridge spanning the turbulent Hunza River. It's considered one of the most dangerous bridges on the planet, with its sparsely spaced wooden planks and violent shaking in the mountain winds. Right next to it, remnants of the old bridge's broken cables, swept away by floods, remain. This image creates a somber atmosphere, like a ghost bridge amidst the majestic Karakoram mountains. Not far away lies Lake Atabad, with its mesmerizing turquoise waters. However, this beauty was born from a devastating landslide in 2011, which submerged many villages and a section of the Karakoram Highway beneath the deep lake. Remarkably, modern resorts and marinas have quickly sprung up against this tragic backdrop. Heading north, the jagged, saw-toothed peaks of Pasu cones create an otherworldly landscape. After crossing the Husseini Bridge, you'll find yourself in the almost deserted villages of Zarabad and Karamabad. The abrupt transition from a bustling tourist destination to a forgotten land offers a truly unique experience. For those seeking historical depth, the ancient village of Ganesh, with its narrow alleys and wooden mosques, offers a completely different atmosphere. Finally, there's the Andhra Poiga staircase system, with over 1,600 stone steps built by the locals themselves. This unusually long path connects the peaceful village to the crumbling Andhra fortress perched precariously on the mountainside, creating a quintessential Hunza landmark. Number 11. Survival behind Hunza customs. One of the most distinctive cultural features of this valley is the Uthengi custom, also known as the practice of lending land to daughters for life. Although Hunza women do not directly inherit land like men, the local customary law system has created a very humane financial protection mechanism. The father or brothers will grant the woman the right to cultivate a plot of land or property for the rest of her life. She has full rights to cultivate and profit from the land, but is not allowed to sell it outright outside the family. Upon the woman's death, the property is returned to the original family. This is a clever arrangement to ensure the well-being of women while preserving the limited land resources in this high-altitude region. This strong bond is further evident in the Janani Wheat Festival, which takes place around June 21st. Instead of lavish feasts, the central ceremony is highly symbolic of the community. Villagers gather to smear butter on the first rice plants of the season as a blessing, then cook the new rice grains and mix them into a drink called diltar to be shared equally among everyone. This act reminds each individual that the harvest belongs collectively, not to any one person. Even weddings are conducted according to a very practical survival logic. The Hunza people usually marry after the harvest, when the granaries are full and farming work has temporarily subsided. This timing is not based on superstition, but on a clever socio-economic calculation. At this time, the entire village is free to work together to set up tents and cook, turning the wedding into a community project. These customs are how a small society organizes life so that no one has to face the harshness of nature alone. Number 12. Religious openness in the Hunza Valley. In the Hunza Valley, Religion is not a rigid set of rules, but rather an undercurrent flowing through daily life. The majority of the inhabitants follow Ismaili Islam and revere Aga Khan as their spiritual leader. Their religious practices clearly demonstrate a liberal and humane spirit. International scholars often call this a living religion, where moral philosophies are prioritized over elaborate rituals. Faith goes hand in hand with work, study, and building strong community relationships. For the Ismaili people, contributing to the community or participating in charitable activities is part of their spiritual journey. They believe that building schools, clinics, or supporting one another is the most practical way to get closer to sacred values. This spirit is clearly evident in traditional festivals such as Jinani. After the prayer service at the Jamaat Khana communal house, the people sing and dance together. Amidst the vibrant sounds of traditional musical instruments, the inherent joy of the people is in no way at odds with their religious beliefs. Since the 1960s, support from the AKDN Development Network has significantly transformed the face of Hunza. Educational and healthcare projects have not only improved the quality of life, but also created impressive literacy rates, particularly among women. The community supports the idea of girls leaving home for school or work, viewing it as a noble moral responsibility. Even within families, women retain control over food distribution and the future of their children. In a region marked by sectarian upheaval, Hunza remains steadfast as a symbol of tolerance and peaceful coexistence. Number 13. The eighth wonder on the roof of the world, Hunza. The Karakoram Highway is often hailed as the eighth wonder of the world for its grandeur and the immense sacrifices made in its construction. This approximately 1,300-kilometer-long road connects Hassan Abdal with Kashgar and crosses the Hunza Valley before reaching the summit of the Kunjarab Pass at an altitude of over 4,700 meters. It is one of the highest paved roads on the planet today. Begun in the late 1960s, the project took over 20 years to build in conditions of sheer cliffs and extremely thin air. Hundreds of workers perished during construction, turning the highway into a silent monument to human indomitable spirit in the 20th century. However, the sheer strength of this wonder is directly proportional to its fragility in the face of nature. The Karakoram runs along one of the most seismically and glacially active regions globally. Even a single, unusual melting ice event is enough to create devastating flash floods that destroy bridges and completely isolate valleys. In reality, this highway frequently requires reinforcement or realignment due to the impact of hanging glaciers. The tragedy at Lake Atabad in 2011 is the clearest evidence of this danger. A massive landslide blocked the Hunza River and submerged dozens of kilometers of asphalt road under the deep lake. Engineers then had to build a new system of tunnels and bridges to bypass this disaster-prone area. In recent years, due to climate change, the risks have increased even further. A prime example is the glacial flood from the Shishpur River in 2022 that destroyed the Hassanabad Bridge and paralyzed traffic. The Karakoram Highway, therefore, is not just a simple road, but a persistent confrontation between modern engineering and the ferocity of Mother Nature. Number 14. Guinness World Record ATM amidst a snowstorm in the Hunza Valley. Amidst the blanket of snow and biting winds at Kunjarab Pass, the highest point of the Karakoram Highway, lies a detail that will surprise anyone: the tallest ATM on the planet. Standing majestically at an altitude of 4,693 meters above sea level, this machine has been recognized by the Guinness World Records since 2016. Geographically, it is located in the Upper Hunza region, near the border between Pakistan and China. To reach it from central towns like Karimabad, visitors must endure a long journey of many hours through majestic mountain ranges. This machine is owned by the National Bank of Pakistan and operates using a solar and wind power system to withstand sub-zero temperatures and heavy snowfalls. Maintaining the operation of this ATM is a truly challenging technical task, as the maintenance team must travel over 80 kilometers from Sost under conditions where avalanches are always a threat. For border guards and locals, this is a rare and essential piece of infrastructure in this remote border region. For tourists, withdrawing money here is like a memorable milestone. Many choose to withdraw small denomination bills to keep as souvenirs from the Karakoram Peak. This unique ATM has become a symbol of technology reaching even the harshest environments, elevating Hunza's status on the international tourism map. Number 15. The Hunzakut people's secret to peace of mind. In the Hunza Valley, happiness isn't measured by income figures or accumulated wealth, but by a sense of contentment. The local economy is primarily based on agriculture and small-scale tourism services. A simple lifestyle is the norm, and there's virtually no pressure to chase luxury goods or ostentatious displays of material wealth. An individual's value is often tied to practical contributions to their family and community rather than the amount of money they earn. This mindset has created a slow-paced life, where financial anxieties don't intrude on the spiritual life as they do in large cities. The second factor contributing to the happiness of Hunza is the sustained investment in women. Women here are given every opportunity to pursue higher education and participate in the workforce without facing the strict traditional barriers. When women are educated and financially independent, the family foundation becomes more solid, and the burden of earning a living is shared equally between both genders. This is essentially a clever survival strategy of the high-altitude mountain dwellers. Finally, happiness also comes from each individual finding purpose in life in the smallest daily activities. The Hunza people dedicate their time to tending their gardens, channeling glacial water, or participating in teaching and welcoming tourists with a high degree of willingness. They rarely complain about work pressure and seldom suffer from stress-related illnesses. For them, having enough food, clothing, and warmth in their family is a great achievement. This is a form of happiness based on self-satisfaction and meaning, not dependent on endless ambitions for growth.